These are the voyages of the starship Wolfstern. Its mission: to rediscover lost worlds, to seek out their life and civilizations, to boldly go where one man has gone before. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Chaos Wolf here and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Now, this is one of the things that I really cannot stand about coming to the core and leaving the core, is that your route planner will spaz out whenever you're trying to do anything more than a couple of jumps. Well, one forced restart later and we're back on our way. And I'm attempting to make fairly good time trying to get back, because I've recently found out from one of the members of the Wolfpack that there is actually a exploration data community goal going on at the moment, and I really want to go and cash in on that. And so I'm pretty much just rushing along at the moment, although not rushing as fast as when I actually came to Sagittarius A. What I'm doing is I am making my way back towards where I last saw Planet Bob. And for those of you that are unaware, Planet Bob was the ringed Earthlike world that I found in episode 1 of Jack of Diamonds.
Fuel scooping.
So what I'm currently doing is I'm not actually scanning the main stars. I'm setting myself up to do my fuel scooping, getting myself right, and then I'm checking the map, because I'm quite confident in this ability now. And I'm having a look, seeing if there's anything interesting to go and have a look at. This looks like a potential Earthlike world. Not Earthlike, sorry, a potential Waterworld, I do apologise. And
Fuel scoop disengaged.
it may possibly be terraformable, so I'm going to go and scan that first high metal content world, just to go and see if that one is terraformable as well. And if it is, bonus. If it's not, then I'm still going to be scanning the Waterworld, but I'm not going to be scanning too many more, because standard high metal content worlds don't net you that much. What we really want are terraformable worlds and terraformable Waterworlds. Anything that's terraformable will net you more money. Obviously nowhere near as much as an Earthlike world, but a terraformable Waterworld will still be a really nice payout. So we've had a look at the high metal content, and it was not terraformable, so it's not really boding too well for this one here, but it still could be. It might just be that this star has a very narrow habitable zone. So what we're going to be doing is moving up on to this Waterworld here, and we're going to scan it and see whether or not it is actually terraformable itself. Now thankfully these worlds are not that far apart, and it doesn't take us that long to get here. And there we go, we've started scanning. There have been certain worlds that I've actually travelled over 100,000 light seconds just because it was a potential Earthlike. But just look at this. You can see why we're having so much trouble jumping around with our route planner, just because of this insane star density, especially over on the left hand side here. Now, yep, I was right, it was a Waterworld, but is it terraformable? And yes, it is. That is awesome. So we've got a nice terraformable Waterworld. And I'm going to go scan this one as well, just on the off chance to see whether this one's terraformable or not. If it is, then I'll scan the next world. If it's not, then I'm not going to bother. But this one is a little further away, so I'm imagining that this one is most likely not going to be terraformable. But you know what they say, there's only one way to find out. So about 600 light seconds later, we've gotten closer and we're actually scanning. So let's see, do we win the exploration lottery here? No, we don't. It's not terraformable. So that's the only one in the system that is actually terraformable. So it's still a great find, but it is, well, it's about a sixth of the size of Earth. So it's very, very small. It's going to have very low gravity. But it is still terraformable, so it is still a nice little find. Now obviously the best ones that you're going to want to try and get are the ones that are closest to one Earth mass. And here we have something else that was a little interesting that I found. I first thought that this was actually going to be a high metal content, but it actually turned out to be a rocky ice planet. And I haven't come across too many of these, or I have and I just haven't noticed. And that wasn't the only strange thing I found. I came across this brown dwarf, and it took me a second to realise that it was actually spinning fairly quickly. As you can see, it's making about 1 to 2 revolutions per minute, so that's not exactly a slow rotational speed. And I just got kind of fascinated by this, so I just sat here and watched it for a little bit. But we've got to carry on. And because, like I said, we've got to make some good time. And so it's always nice jumping in to GClass Stars, because these stars they have a high chance of actually having terraformable and Earth-like worlds and so on. Because GClass Stars are our own class of stars. Our sun is actually a GClass star. But unfortunately this system didn't have that much in there of interest, so I'm just going to go and jump out and carry on my way after getting a bit of fuel. So we're back on the road again, still on the hunt for Planet Bob. But what are we going to find at this stop? Oh, you can see already almost. There we go, we've found ourselves another black hole. And this one is on the way towards the original the last black hole that I found. And just look at that, 60 townies as well. Now, the black hole that I found on the video where I told you all that my ship actually blew up, this one is actually on the way to that one. And I'm surprised I didn't find this one on the way in. But just look at that gravitational lensing effect. It is extremely prominent here. Well, nowhere near as prominent as Sagittarius A, but this is amazing, and I can actually get really close. Now, this isn't a force dropout. I am actually dropping out myself here because I just was a little worried about getting too close to this thing. But as you can see, we are just over, well, just under 90 kilometers from this black hole. And just look at that amazing gravitational lensing. And if the footage looks a little familiar, yes, I did use this footage for my new intro. I do like having new intros for the different ships I'm using whilst exploring. I didn't have enough footage to make one for the last video, but I have now, and just look at that. It's just, it's like we're looking at space, at the galaxy through a really strong magnifying glass. That is absolutely amazing. Now, the one problem about having such a large ship like the Anaconda, it takes a long time to pan around anywhere. The camera is still travelling at the same speeds, it's just the fact that the ship is so much bigger. But there we go, that was a black hole, and this is as well. Just, you can still see it. We're that close, we are still inside the gravitational lensing field. But we're going to go try a trick that I tried at Sagittarius A, but we couldn't get close enough for. We want to see the weird visual effects you get when you jump into Super Cruise from inside the lensing fields. Wow, just look at that. We pretty much just saw everything behind us. It was like looking in a mirror, and that was kind of gut-wrenching seeing that at the time. I can only imagine how amazing that would be to see in the Oculus Rift, as well as here. We'll take one last look at this black hole, and then we're going to go and move on. Let's look at that playground of stars. That is such a beautiful sight. Now, one of the next systems we actually jumped into had a nice little surprise here. There was nothing really at the top, but down the bottom here, there was a very interesting looking planet. And it's possibly either an Earth-like world or a Waterworld. It could also quite possibly be a high metal content world. But I have my money on either an Earth-like or a Waterworld. Now, it was 21,000 light seconds away, so this took quite a while to get to. But we're here now, and we're going to go and see what actually this is. Let's let the scan finish its job. And it is an Earth-like world. That is absolutely amazing. So that's another one to add on to the telly. Currently, since leaving Wolf 906 at the moment, this is actually the second Earth-like we've come across. Although there are at least 3 more that I'm actually going to go and find. I think closer to 4 more of them actually. Yeah, 4 more Earth-likes to find after this one. Now this, I'm actually going to name Planet Woodle. Now I'm naming this Planet Woodle after the Wolfpack member who actually brought the community goal, the exploration community goal, to my attention. So thank you very much, Woodle. This planet is now yours. So you can see it's an outdoor human breathable world. It is a quarter of the size of our Earth, so we're only going to have 1/4 gravity. And it's still got a lot of metal in there, so it's pretty much a high metal content planet that is actually an Earth-like. Now, I could go and scan the rest of these, but I don't know if I'm actually going to go and bother. Because, like I said, I really just want to make good time back while still finding Planet Bob. Because at the present moment, as I am recording this, this is the 29th of August. And the community goal finishes on the 4th of September. So I haven't got long to go. And Woodle has informed me that it is a high likelihood that it's actually going to finish early. And now in the next system, we did actually come across this, which are 2 planets, one blue and one brown. Now they could very well both be high metal content planets, because there are quite a few blue high metal contents out there. But I am hoping that it's going to be a Waterworld. Now I could actually go and scan all of these if I have the time or inclination, but I'm actually just going to go and scan this blue one first. And yes, that is 42,000 light years, not light years, light seconds away, so I'm going to be here for a little while. And thankfully this is not very long for you, and yes, it was a Waterworld. The other one over there is actually a high metal content planet. So we actually have a Waterworld and high metal content planet actually orbiting one another. So here we have the Waterworld, and in the distance you can see the high metal content. So the high metal content is has an atmosphere. You can see that there by the atmospheric shimmer around the edge of the planet. Now, as we can see, this is a terrestrial Waterworld, but it is not terraformable. It's a carbon dioxide rich atmosphere with oxygen and nitrogen and so on, but this one here is a methane rich atmosphere, so I can't imagine that smells very nice down there. But neither of them are terraformable, so that's not giving me much hope for these ones here, so I'm not going to go and bother scanning them, and I am just going to go and jump out of the system. Because Waterworlds are nice, but terraformable Waterworlds are better. Now, one of the next systems I jumped to, I had a little bit of a shock because I came across one of these. And if you've not seen this before, then you've not been watching many of my episodes, and I'd recommend going back and having a look at them. But this is a neutron star. And around this neutron star we had 3 gas giants and a bunch of little moons. So there's nothing really that interesting in this system beyond the neutron star itself. And neutron stars are amazing little things to go and scan because they are second only to black holes in how much you would actually get paid for that astronomical object. Now, as you can see, I am actually only looking around for neutron stars. I'm orienting myself away from the galactic core, and I am moving outwards. Now, I'm possibly not going to bother with that one because there are a bunch more further out, because I'm trying to jump to as many as I can that are close, well, as close to my maximum jump range as possible. But I am actually going to go and check this one out, because there are a few here. I could spend the time to actually go and jump from one to one to one and just pick up all of them. But again, like I said, I'm trying to get back for the end of, well, before the end of the community goal. And here we go, in the next one. It's like trying to play Spot the Neutron Star. Where is it? There it is. Because you cannot really, they're so small, you can't spot them against all the distant stars in the background. Now, this system, we do have an M class as well, but I have a feeling it's going to be a fair ways off. Yep, nearly 200,000 light seconds away, so there's no chance I'm going over to scan that. Because like I said, I am trying to make the best time home that I can. And what I'm doing is just jumping from neutron to neutron right now, whilst I am on the way back. So again, orienting myself away from the core, and actually picking the stars that are on the way out. So let's have a look out and see if we can find one closer to my maximum jump range. So 34, 34, that sounds good. Oh, it's this one over here. 40, that's too far. So let's go for this one, I think. Okay, so I'm going to go check that one out, but I think that's pretty much time to call this. Whoa, see that? We don't want to get too close to that. That thing has a really wide deadly zone. But anyway, that's enough for this episode. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If so, please do hit that like button. It really does help my channel out. And if you haven't already, join the Wolfpack by hitting that big subscribe button. You will get notifications for whenever I release new videos. And until next time, Commanders, keep flying and stay shining.